types were discovered by a well-known researcher and co-founder of the Imposter Syndrome Institute, Dr. Valerie Young. She's all over LinkedIn, all over the internet. She's a really amazing woman. And she talks about how people have unrealistic, unsustainable expectations about what it means to feel competent. And she describes your relationship with competency and how we measure that, what we believe it means to be competent. And these are not personality types, okay? So let's look at the first one, which is the perfectionist. Now, this person sets excessively high goals for themselves. They often experience intense fear of failure. They believe that anything less than perfect is unacceptable, and that leads to a lot of dissatisfaction with their achievements. Despite any external validation they may get, they struggle to internalize their success, and they constantly feeling like they haven't done enough. You'll expect a flawless performance every time if you make a presentation, and you might make one minor mistake, but that's it. The whole thing will be ruined for you. It can lead to procrastination because this type feels like they won't be able to complete something to the necessary high standards that they've got, or they over prepare and over prepare, so spending so much time on a task that isn't actually necessary. Next one is a superhero. They feel the need to excel in every aspect of their lives, right? Whether it's work, relationships, a personal endeavor, the perfect partner, the perfect parent, the house looks great, everything looks great, right? They expect to be the strategic planner as well as the detailed executioner. But they can do both, but they can't do them at the same level. They juggle multiple responsibilities and push themselves to the brink of exhaustion to prove their worth. However, they often neglect self-care. They struggle to ask for help because that is not what they do. And that fear of doing that they fear that it will reveal their perceived incompetence, right? And all that is rubbish. It's just not true. But the perfectionist, I've sometimes had that with bits of work that I've done, and I've gone right to the end, and it's like ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So if you're like that, be very aware of that. Next one is the soloist. They do everything on their own. They will never ask for help because they've got to prove their worth, right? The only achievements that count for them are the ones that they complete on their own. They never will recognize achievement if they're part of a big team that's done something. It's only if they've done it on their own. They don't want support from anyone else, and they can believe they can do everything by themselves, right? And it's absolutely fine, but it doesn't. What holds them back is that collaboration and new ideas, and procrastination as well. Because it's like, do I want to speak to Penny? No, I don't need to speak to her. I can do it, right? Then there's the expert, and this is not being about an expert in knowledge. It's about the kind of it's the quantity of knowledge and information that they know, not the quality. Okay, the quality is the perfectionist. The expert, they believe that they must possess all the knowledge and skills required for their role or field. They constantly seek out additional certifications, training, qualifications to validate their experience. There's always one more certification to go. The endless pursuit of and everlasting, urge to get more knowledge. And despite being highly competent, they worry that they're going to be exposed as a fraud, right? Can you imagine someone who is highly qualified but still doesn't recognize the abilities that they have? And they encounter situations, if they don't have all the answers, that totally blows their mind. They think they're not experienced enough to go for a promotion. All sorts of things can happen. The last one is the natural genius. Now, this is not about being a genius, right? In this context, a genius, they measure their competence based on ease and speed. They expect to pick up something quickly, and if it doesn't happen, that they think they must be an imposter. They don't realize that there's a learning curve for nearly everything that we do, and that's what how a normal person would feel who doesn't have those feelings of imposter syndrome. They understand the journey. um, they get the expert gets into their head, well, if I was really intelligent, capable and competent, this wouldn't be hard. So there's a feeling of it just should be easy, right? They believe their worth is inherently tied to their ability to effortlessly excel without much effort, and they expect themselves to grasp new concepts immediately, and they get very frustrated and anxious and struggle with any mistakes they make. They will avoid, and because of that, they'll avoid challenging situations that may reveal their limitations, preferring to stick to tasks where they can easily succeed. Now, the danger of all of these types. Now, I'm sure you're going to get triggered. I'm sure many of you have been triggered through that. Like, oh, I know someone like that. Was that me? Don't worry about it. The danger of all these types is that although they work hard to go and be, and as also they work hard and go beyond, they come at it from a perspective that they are avoiding being discovered, that they don't know what they're doing, and that there's some kind of fraud. Okay, that's where the inauthenticity comes through. It's where imposter syndrome takes a grip. And what I want you to think about is, what did you notice about yourself, your thoughts, and your negative drivers? Were there any behaviors that you recognize that you go, oh, oh, I guess actually I do that. Yeah, or "Oh, that is me to a T." Make sure you write them down. What do you keep telling yourself that isn't true? Hmm. The one thing that something's happened to you in the past and you're bringing that into the future, but it's not true. And do you realize that you have any limiting beliefs? I'm hoping that you've had a couple of aha moments. But the good thing is, the first thing is to recognize what's going on with you and your behavior. Then you can address it and create new strategies to help manage it, because this takes time to knock it out of us, right? We've had these learned behaviors, learned experiences. It takes time to get rid of them. This is not something that happens overnight. And when I work with people, it can take several months.